Every morning, you need to mind hack and murder hack your brand.
Exponential growth is exponential.
Look at your calendar and burn it. What is your personal winning resume?
The number one thing that they don't teach in school is to make money. Entrepreneurs.
Entrepreneur.
Produce.
I am literally a god.
Spartans!
Business.
Money hacks. Hello, everybody, and welcome.
Our arrows will blot out the sun.
Forgot we kept that.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, well, let's start again. How's it going, everybody? This is Business Money Hacks. I'm Bridge Stewart.
I'm Dustin Taylor Hahn.
Today we got a great episode lined up. We're going to be talking with our guest Tnnr Wytt, and we're going to be focusing on specifically branding. It's very important to just get your name out there and understanding how branding can take you to the next level in regards to business, in regards to your personal life, whether it be with family or friends or, relationships. Branding hits many levels.
We spoke about cutting your ties with your old family and starting anew, and I think that's kind of the thesis of starting anew is putting your name on people, putting your name on things, if not metaphorically, but literally putting your name on things. I have a special burner. I burn my name into.
That's good. I mean, it's important, and to own yourself. I'm not talking about slaves here, but own other people. Like you own them in a way that you can talk with them at a level where you're owning the conversation.
Right. When you're talking in a conversation, sometimes you just want to yell out your name, and then people remember. You just want to yell out your name. Like we'll do a little play here. Bridge, how's business been doing?
Oh, it's
Dustin.
Great.
So now Bridge right now knows that I'm above him in the conversation. Now there's a tactic where Bridge can yell out his name, but it has to be a little bit louder, and then we realize that the conversation is more about him than it is about me. Let's try this again.
I mean,
Bridge, how's business? Dustin.
Bridge.
Yeah, so that's kind of.
And God, I'd hate to count the number of times I've been in a boardroom where it just devolved I'd hate to count the number of times I've been in a boardroom where it just devolved into everybody screaming their own name.
Yeah, well, that's also the issue with when we discussed making this podcast in the first place. We're like, how many secrets should we give away? This is a huge secret because we can't just have people in boardrooms yelling out their names and then nothing gets done.
And that was a worry about this podcast, that it was just going to be us screaming our own names constantly.
I have the urge every moment to scream my name, and I have this little buzzer on the side of my ankle that buzzes when I think about screaming out my name. It hurts a bit, but it happens. It's connected directly into my egg.
You have one of those egg implants.
There's certain issues that I have with it's starting new issues, but we can get into that kind of thing later. I do want to go back to branding before we meet up with
Tnnr Wytt.
Tnnr Wytt, an influencer. So where did branding come from? What's the history behind branding? In the old days, branding would be cattle farmers or people who owned a lot of land would have to physically brand people or things that are on their farm. My father used to do that because he had a lot of children. I had siblings, and he would brand on the bottom of our feet. So I have, if you could look at the bottom of my foot here, you'll see that there's my family sigil.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, these are two snakes choking a goat's neck.
Oh, okay.
And that forms an H, and then there's my number right there.
Wow.
And he actually branded both of our feet because it made it harder for us to run away. So you could see both of my feet.
Yeah. Well, you must take a lot of pride in that sort of thing. Your father just at a young age branding his children with the sigil of the family.
Well, he took it out when I was, I think, 4. That's the age of becoming. He would take the hot iron, and for a while, I don't want to be on this subject too long, but for a while, he would refer to all of his children as just the number of the baby that came out, what number came out. And then by the time we became a certain age, we got to choose our own names. And I chose my name based off of the Dust Bowl. Because all the siblings got together and we decided we were going to choose our name based off of tragedies at the time.
Okay, that makes sense. Because from great tragedy comes great greatness. And so,
So
obviously you've achieved that.
Yes, absolutely.
We're in a compound in New Zealand.
Beautiful compound.
It's a gorgeous, expensive compound where you're testing on live animals. If that's not success, I don't know what is.
Well, thank you, Bridge. And I'll be sure to tell my brothers and sisters, Titanus, Marcus, and Franquake.
Franquake. Okay.
She was based off of the San Francisco earthquake of 1906.
Yeah. That's what I probably thought.
All right. Well, let's
that's
get to it.
great,
Unless,
yeah.
Bridge, you have anything more to say.
No. I'd say we just bring in Tnnr. Tnnr Wytt, everybody. We're bringing him on.
So, dudes.
Tnnr.
You seen the video? So, dudes. It's those guys.
First off, Tnnr, you smell great.
Thank you. Yeah,
What is that?
It's Axe body spray. Yeah,
Axe.
they're one of my sponsors.
Wow.
This one particularly is Phoenix Risen. So
Okay.
I feel pretty good about it, yeah.
And you're being sponsored.
Yeah. I mean, you guys were talking about branding. That's why you brought me on here, right? And you guys are talking about physically branding yourself. Well, another way you can do it these days is tattoos. Tattoos are cool. It's a good way to get yourself out there, show people when you go on Instagram, you take pictures of your tattoos. I actually get tattoos of all my sponsors. So I have Axe body spray on my back.
Oh, that's smart.
I have Big Lots on my thigh, And that way, when I'm doing my shots in my underwear, people get to see my sponsors. You know what I mean? You feel me?
Very cool.
Yeah, I like that.
Very
I like
cool,
that.
Tnnr.
Yeah, for sure.
You have an Olive Garden on your neck. Now,
I do,
Are you
yeah.
still... Is that still
No.
your sponsor?
No. I'm actually switching over right now. I'm going to In-N-Out, so it's kind of a conflict of interest. The weird thing is with Olive Garden is I guess they didn't like this video I did where I basically had sex with bread. They didn't. Breadsticks are like a big part of their business model.
Okay.
I thought it was edgy. They thought it was inappropriate. I don't know.
Give us a rundown on what's your rise to social influencer here.
Shit, man. I mean, I was pretty much born influencing people. I mean, when I was a kid, everybody wanted to wear the backpack I had. Everybody wanted my hairstyle. I was just that kid. I got my nose pierced in third grade. Yeah, I got my mom to take me down to Claire's. Got that shit done. Everybody thought it was super cool. Next thing I know, people were wearing fake nose rings. So people were just they've always looked up to me. And then when social media came along, I was like, look at this. This is the perfect avenue for me to show people how cool I am. So I started with Vines, did some amazing 6-second Vines. I had one where I come out of a Starbucks and this girl hits me in the head with a coffee cup. Just bang. Right in the head and just keeps playing over and over. And it's so funny, dude. So funny. That thing got, I think, about 27 million loops in the first day.
Wow. That means now a loop. That means people are watching it over and over again.
Yeah.
I like to call it locked in.
Yeah.
Like they're just their eyes are there and they're locked in. They're completely focused on you.
Yeah.
And I love it when people are focused on me,
Exactly.
So that's a very
Dustin. See right there, I locked you.
I like this.
Two techniques right there, and I locked you both in. You looked at me for. We had the stare. We had the tiger stare.
I couldn't take my eyes off you when you screamed your own name.
Which that makes me feel very uncomfortable because I'm used to people looking at me. So I'm going to take that technique and I'm going to apply it to every meeting I have. I might just start doing videos of me just screaming my own name. Just like, T-Dubs, Tnnr Wytt, Tnnr Wytt, Tnnr Wytt, Tnnr.
Yeah, that's good. I didn't know who to look at. I was kind
I
of
was confused.
And Tanner's, you have on your jacket here, on the collar of your jacket, you have mirrors on there. So I guess at any point when you turn...
Yeah.
I guess. Well, the other thing is I like being able to just, if I need it in a pinch, I can just look at my sleeve and I go, oh, okay, my eyebrows look good. I don't need to go in and get them done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's kind of like having your phone, when you look at your phone and you can like look at yourself and people use it as a mirror, but like it's like the old school way.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I've definitely seen some of your stuff online, and I gotta say,
thank you.
The brilliance of how you just suck people in to watching your content is, I would dare say breathtaking.
It's almost hypnotic the way you do things.
Guys, you are too kind. You are too kind. I mean, it's really more of a gift, It's one of those things that you can try to replicate it, but you just have to have it. It's like what you guys do, Not everybody can be out there testing on animals or creating this massive empire. You gotta have that within you, Part of it's your upbringing. You know what I mean? I grew up in the suburbs. I had 2 brothers. We had a relatively easy upbringing, which made me a really bored kid. So I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do with my time? So I just decided, let's just do stupid shit. And it's made me millions of dollars.
Yeah,
so I'm just gonna rebrand my name here. I'm gonna take out all the vowels, So I'm on this show announcing this today. I'm no longer Tnnr Wytt. I'm Tnnr Wytt, but I'm Tnnr with Tnnr Wytt. Because it's cool. It's like it's one of those ways that you can kind of mix things up while still maintaining your original image. But it's edgy. You know what I mean? It's like, who needs all those vowels?
It's almost like,
how would you pronounce that?
It's still just Tnnr Wytt. It's the same thing, yeah.
Yeah, Tnnr Wytt, or like a Tnnr Wytt.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing is I want to confuse people. I thought about putting a period in the middle, like Tnnr Wytt. You know what I mean? And then people are like, do I say the dot? Or is it a period? Or do I stop? What do I do here? Grammar's hard for people these days. So
confusing people within a conversation is one of the best ways to get attention.
Yeah.
And it puts you above them as well, not just screaming out your name.
That's a very good point. One thing I like to do with people is say sentences, but say it like a question. So that really often throws people off. So, for example, I was in the boardroom of Soft the other day, and I said, I'm going to fire your ass to an executive, but I said it as a question, and I looked him in the eyes like, I'm gonna fire your ass? He didn't know how to take it. He didn't know if he was fired or if what else could he have happened to that guy? I mean, so I think it's very important to throw people off is what I'm
thrown off right now.
Yeah,
I think it's just very important to throw people off.
Even within your close social circle, it's just you have to be the top dog or the top cat.
Yeah, that's why honestly, that's why I love doing my prank videos, I got my mom, I got her arrested one day. Oh my God, it was so funny. So basically, they loved it. So I went and I shoplifted a bunch of stuff from Kmart, and then I put it all in the back of my mom's car, and then I called an anonymous tip in to the police, and I was like, yo, this white lady, she's driving down the street in a Prius, and she's got a bunch of stuff from Kmart that she stole, and then she spent the entire day in jail, and we filmed the whole thing. It was hilarious, bro. Wow. It was hilarious.
How many loops did you get on that one?
Oh, that went over 100 million. Yeah. Yeah, I think Vine is gone now, but I think that shit's still looping right now. Yeah.
So you've been able to monetize this pretty well. You've found a steady stream of cash flow through this media.
Yeah, the money's coming in, bro. I pay people to count my money now. That's how much money I have. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like I didn't go for the money. I went out there to create good content, and then the money found me. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna take it as it comes. Yeah.
You're an artist.
Yeah, for sure, bro. I mean, I think we all are artists in our own way.
Sometimes what I like to do is I like to grab a duffel bag of money, toss it out the window, and try to run down the stairs to catch the money, so it feels like money's just coming at you.
It's a race. It's raining money.
I want it to rain money on. That could be a good loop for you.
Yeah, bro. I'm stealing that shit. Which that's another thing I want to talk about with branding is like you don't have to create everything. You can take other people's stuff, throw a watermark on it, So that's what I do. I usually probably 75% of my pictures on Instagram. I just find some photographer who did a good job. I take that shit, slap a watermark on it, throw it on my page. No one ever knows. And by the time their lawyers come after me, it's like,
natural business.
Bro, I got so much money. It's like I don't care.
I love that. I love that. It's. I mean, I think we can all relate to just stealing stuff.
Yeah.
Like just being able to take.
Taking physically and also taking people's minds and taking their
dignity. Yeah.
Taking their sure.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. The mental.
Well, it's not taking if they're unwilling. Well, if they're unwilling, it's still taking. But if you will them to be unwilling,
that's totally
that's what I mean.
That's acceptable. Mm-hmm. It's legal, I think.
Sure. Well, it's legal out here. It's legal out in the sea.
I mean, yeah. And I always say, ocean laws are bust. Yeah.
So Tnnr, you started with prank videos. Tell me about your earliest prank video. You said you were doing this since you were born.
Yeah.
So what was the earliest prank? Because I noticed you have a tattoo of Oshkosh B'gosh. I don't know if that company's still around anymore, but that must have been one of the...
Yeah, that was the first one. Had to do with, so my brother had this pair of overalls from Oshkosh B'gosh, one of my younger brothers, and I thought it would be funny to sew the pant leg shut. So every time he tried to get in, it was just like he was like trying to jam his legs in, and he couldn't get in, and it just over and over and over again. So I filmed that one. That one was just on like a regular VHS tape back in the day. I released it as like a 20th anniversary edition last year.
Ooh, Disney, I like that.
Yeah.
You gotta rebrand your...
Yeah, you gotta let it out the vault sometimes, you know what I mean? But I also just have always enjoyed Oshkosh B'gosh as a brand. So eventually I ended up leaving. It's not so much for the video. They're one of my sponsors.
It's a great brand. I think the name is a very... You're always going to remember that. And... like you were saying, by screaming your name, it's the most important thing is for the other person to remember that name, and there's no way I'm going to forget Oshkosh B'gosh.
Oshkosh B'gosh.
There's no way. Yeah. There's no way. It sounds like gibberish, and that's what's brilliant about it.
Yep.
Going into this rebranding thing, I've always thought of rebranding as almost sort of like taking your skin off and like putting on a new skin. It's like you're walking around in a new skin when I think of rebranding. And when you go through that process, sometimes it's so profound and deep that you might even forget your own name. It's like, I feel like a different person or something.
Yeah. I've been experimenting with cloning myself. I would love a younger version of myself, so when I get older, as you do, I can put myself into that body. And I know that, Bridge, you were talking about creating robotic versions of yourself so that your brain your egg can go inside.
Yeah,
the new equipment.
This shell that is 10 times stronger than a normal human body and can rip open doors and rip open steel. That's the goal.
Right? I imagine
that sounds dope.
Yeah,
going into a board meeting, screaming your name out, Bridge, ripping open the door.
Yeah, that sounds sick.
That's the dream right there. It's just a robotic version of me ripping open the boardroom doors and God damn it. Screaming my name, Bridge, in this animatronic voice that would terrify everybody because it's a giant robot that's screaming Bridge, and I think that's. I certainly would listen to that robot if it was charging at me.
That's wild, bro.
Yeah,
that's wild. That sounds dope. It's like RoboCop. You guys ever see that movie?
I love that movie.
I love it. It's a great.
I thought the RoboCop was sort of the antagonist. In I see it, I felt Omni Consumer Products they were just doing their job, keeping Detroit safe. With giant robots.
Well, Detroit seemed like it was out of control in that movie. So,
and I think right now, if we're looking at Detroit, we might need
we need some robots.
Art reflects life, or life will reflect art, and hopefully in Detroit we will have giant robots.
One question I have: what's next? I mean, you've conquered the social media platforms.
Yep.
What's the next? Is it the movies? Is it? Yeah, I mean, you're a social media business of some sort, I'd imagine.
Bro. Like, honestly, social media has been very good to me, and I love it. But I want to do something different, bro. Like, I'm trying to put I'm trying to spread myself across all platforms. Like an STD. I just want to be just everywhere. You know what I mean? So, I'm probably gonna drop this album that I've been working on. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it's like a rock hip hop thing, kind of like all like Limp Bizkit. That was my favorite band growing up.
Well, that's really popular now.
Yeah, it's catching back on.
Yeah. So I got some cool features on there. I got Scott Stapp from Creed. He does the hook on one song. I also got oddly enough, I got Dolly Parton on a track. It's
Wow.
wild, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, she didn't actually like record it for me. I just stole something that she worked on.
Smart.
That sounds like
It's
it's
like a new We Are the World. Remember in the 80s, We Are the
Yup.
World? You're a little too
Yup.
young for that, but
But that's the image we're trying to do. We're trying to unite people, you know?
Yeah, that sounds like it's going to absolutely explode onto the music scene.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate
people
that
are
also.
people are frothing at the mouth for a Dolly Parton resurgence. So
rap hip hop.
they're hungry. They're hungry for that sort of content. I guarantee it. And it sounds like you've got your fingers just squeezed around the pulse
Yeah,
of
just
what
deep
these
up in there,
teens
bro.
want. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was
Yeah.
that little hand gesture you made? When
Oh,
you said
this?
deep up in there?
Yeah, it's like they call it a shocker. Yeah. I don't really know. I think it's just because it's like kind of a shocking symbol, you know, like no one really knows what you're doing when you do this. I think that's where it came from. But yeah, like I feel like I got my hands just deep in the pulse of the teens, you know?
Yeah, that's very good. It's great to have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've branded a lot of teens. So, you know, I've thought about so many rebrands and brands that are so important to American society and stuff. And one thing that always comes up is Steve Jobs. That guy, that guy was in the mid '90s. He was a failure. He was a huge failure, and everybody hated him. And he was able to completely rebrand himself with the iPod. And that is such an inspiration, I've found. And it's so important to just embrace that rebrand. I'm so proud of what Steve Jobs did.
A lot of it also is the logo. Now, Tanner, you
Yeah.
have a lot of experience in logos,
For sure.
obviously.
Yeah.
Do you have your own logo?
I do.
Look into tell us
I
about
do. So what I found is with any sort of social media avenue, sex sells. You know, I have about in any given day, 50% of my photos, which is about 100 photos a day, are just pictures of women that are either scantily clad or have no clothes on. Okay. So what I did is I took my name, right, and I basically wrapped it up in this like kind of oval shaped creation, but it's pretty much just a vagina. Yeah, I found that like that's. I mean, you look at Nike, like Nike, the swoosh is just a dick. You know, you feel me? It's like
See that?
Yeah.
Amazon Prime. They have that little arrow thing. It's just a dick. Yeah.
That's-
yeah. So
Apple.
Yep. I mean, that's just obviously one breast.
Yeah.
Well, a breast that's bitten into, sure.
Yep. That's for sure what that is. I mean, AT&T, that logo, another breast. You put those two together, you got 1 3/4 breasts.
Yeah.
The Subway, all of the letters look like misshapen dicks to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
I mean,
McDonald's, it's like
It's like a split cock.
two dick.
Yep.
Yeah. Two
Yep.
two limp dicks just creating an M.
Pizza Hut is just a dick with a hat on.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the way I look at it. I mean, ultimately, like it's about what is personal to you, and it's got to have some importance to you. But at the end of the day, it needs to be about sex. People don't care about anything else.
It's very important. That's
Yeah.
very important, and it sells across so many platforms. And people want excitement. People want danger with that sort of stuff. So it's a very profound approach.
Because you don't know when you're going to get an STD.
Well, all right. This has been a great episode. I think we've learned a lot through branding and through Tnnr Wytt about the core of what branding is.
Yo, thank you guys. I appreciate it. You guys do great work up here. So keep at it. Tnnr.
Bridge.
Tanner.
Bridge.
Dustin.
Bridge.
Tanner.
Dustin.
Tanner.
Bridge.
Tanner.
Dustin.
Bridge. Bridge.
Thanks so much for listening. Next week, we'll be talking to Mr. Dr. Corvus Sasserson, Harvard graduate in economy, and he'll be talking about the economy.